Welcome to this edition of Go Vote Omaha, presented by the League of Women Voters of Greater Omaha. I'm Karina Hernandez, producer here at Go Vote Omaha, and your host for today's program, where we will cover some voting basics, meet our new co-directors for the League Voter Services, and learn more about that program. The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan organization and does not endorse political parties or candidates. The League does, however, take positions on issues. Our purpose is to empower voters and defend democracy. Go Vote Omaha primarily focuses on policy issues, and as a result of our discussions, we hope you will feel ready to make informed decisions at election time. I am joined today by Kat Henning and Tiffany Truong. Thank you so much for being here. They're the co-directors for the voter services for the League of Women Voters of Greater Omaha. Well, thank you so much for being here. Let's start with talking about your program. Can you tell us a little bit about that voter services program?
Yeah, so the purpose of voter services mostly is to register voters here in the Greater Omaha area. So we host a lot of different voter registration events, all in different communities in the metro here. And anybody can kind of request to have a VR event at their community gathering or whatever it may be, and we will come and register voters. And then another thing we do is we inform voters with our voter guide and let folks know about the candidates that they are voting for.
That's great. And that's kind of what we're doing here today. Let's get into some of those voting basics that everybody should know or get information on. Well, first, why is getting out to vote important?
Right. So although voting is not a required civic responsibility, civic engagement is still very important for a healthy democracy. Citizens vote for their leaders who represent them, their ideals, their interests, so that everybody can feel, taken care of. It is an opportunity for change if you don't like the way that things are being run around you and you see leaders who are finally aligning with your values, you vote for them. This is your chance to put somebody with your values in position of power.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And as part of getting out to vote, the first thing that you have to do is register. So can you tell us about how do you register to vote? How does how should we go about that?
Yes, to register to vote, there are 3 ways that you could do this. You can do it online at Rock the Vote. You can Google it. It's very easily, it pops up pretty easily. You input your information and then you register to vote there. You can you can register to vote in person at voter registration events, such as ones that we host. You fill out the form, we sign it, we send it to the elections commissioner's office. Or you can go to the election commissioner's office yourself and fill out the form there. So those are the 3 main ways you can do that.
Right. So I know myself that when you're registering to vote on paper, you can use either the last 4 of your social or your ID, the number on your ID. And when you're registering online, you'll need a Nebraska ID to register there. And the really cool thing about Rock the Vote is when you register to vote there, you can, they'll send you reminders too. So, where to go and when to go. And with that, if you are not interested in getting reminders for the election, you can actually go straight to the Secretary of State to register to vote there. So as we're thinking about how to register ourselves to vote, we obviously want our friends and family to come out to vote too. How should we go about helping our friends and family to register to vote or to vote?
Yeah, the best way is just to do it yourself. You do it and you show them, you set an example, you show them how you are voting and you're participating, and that just demonstrates to your loved ones. You talk to them about the importance of voting, what matters to you personally, what matter to your family. If they see people that they admire, that they love, go vote, they probably will think about it at least. You talk about with all the people who are around you, You can make sure that everybody in your household is a registered voter by, just making sure that the forms are filled out on time, make sure that everybody's getting the mail that they need to, to begin. You can reach out to your friends, to people on your social media. You just talk about, spread the word.
I love seeing on social media when people get their I voted stickers, and I feel like that's all I see on election days is when people have their I voted stickers, and that's what it is, just selfies.
Right? Seeing your friends and family be part of the process, I think makes it easier for ourselves to be like, well, now I have a friend who I can go to my polling place to, or go voting with. So talking about, going to actually go vote, what are some of the different methods of, actually voting?
Yeah, so you can vote by mail or in person. And both are very easy to do. I personally love voting by mail. It's super easy. In the past, I just fill out this form online and I email it over to the election commissioner's office, and then I get my ballot in the mail. And another way you can do that is the election commissioner's office will send cards to every registered voter's house, and you can request a ballot by mail via those cards. And there's a little check box on those cards where if you check that box, they'll send you a ballot for every single election. And it makes it really easy. And that way you don't have to stress about going to the polls. But if you want to go to the polls, you can do that too, to vote in person. And those are the two main ways to vote.
Yeah, so voting early, what you're talking about is, voting by mail. You can vote early. Maybe you don't have time to go to your polling place on election day, so you can vote early by mail. And in person too, you can. We're going to be talking a little bit about how you can vote early in person. With voting by mail, something that I really enjoyed. Yeah, it's kind of new actually that you can email your application to your election commissioner. So that was really exciting for me to find out too. And then also I got mine mailed in, the request to vote by mail ballot, request to vote by mail application, let me say. And so I have emailed it when I didn't have time. And I also have just went up to the Dropbox, to the election commissioner Dropbox, and just dropped it off, on my way to go get something. And that was pretty easier too. So talking about voting at your polling place, how do you go about finding your polling place?
Yeah, so it's super easy to find your polling place online. You can do that at vote411.org or lwvgo.org. Both super easy. You just plug in your address and it will automatically show you your closest polling place. Also, if you're registered to vote, you'll get a polling card in the mail that will tell you where is the closest poll for you.
Yeah, and usually, when you're looking for your polling place, it's going to be super close to you. So it might be the elementary school or, something, a church maybe. And yeah, usually it's super close to you, and you do get a sticker when you vote at your polling place. So with voting early in person, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so you can vote early in person. I believe, pretty sure that it's up to 30 days before the election. And you just head to the election commissioner's office and do it there. Super easy. Another way to add, or another way to avoid the potential stress of voting at the polls. And so a lot of people do prefer to vote early in person.
Right. So going back to real quick on voter registration, when should voters update their voter registration?
So rule of thumb is if you're unsure about if you should update it or not, go ahead and update it because it's super easy. Like we said, there are many ways to do it online. But the three main times that you should update your voter registration is if you have a change of address, change of name, or a change in your political party affiliation. But like I said, if you have any doubts, just go ahead and update it so that you can be certain that you'll be eligible to vote in the next election.
Yeah, agreed. I think especially, when I was a college student, I would basically move every single year. I don't know if that happened to you all, but every single year I would move. So my address was constantly changing. So it was really important to, update my voter registration. And I prefer to do it online because I have an ID. But yeah, like I said, you can also, do it through paper. But yeah, it's important to update your voter registration so that you get, the right information on where to vote if you want to do a polling place. As I'm talking about preparing, what can voters do to make a plan and prepare for the election?
You can, the league website and for Vote 401, vote411.org website are very, very resourceful. They have everything that you need to do to be prepared. We can, Karina, do you want to share? Should I share my screen to just walk him through?
That's perfect. Yeah, let's do it.
All right, 1 second. All right, so this is the league website. This is where you can find, we have all our tabs right here. And for voting resources, this is where you find Rock the Vote. This is where you request for us to be at your events and stuff like that. So to prepare to be ready to vote, you can, find your polling place right here. You can click on that, your representative. You can go to the Vote 411 website. We can just go ahead and go there just to see. You can also just type in Google right there. And here, if you just type in vote411.org, it takes you to the national website. So you do need to click on your state and then it filters out for you. But if you go through the league website that's pre-selected, it tells you right here when the next primary will be, what your deadlines will be, and this is your general election. It has more information for you to read through, a place for you to request your ballot. Pretty straightforward website. And that's the website. You could listen to our forums. We have candidate forums on Go Vote Omaha when it's closer to the election time. And you just, if you have any question, you can reach out to people in the league or just look through the website. But yeah, we're very accessible. You can just ask us if you have any questions about your candidates.
Yeah, we also have our voters guide that we bring out for Douglas County. And then there's also a state guide as well that will come out. There are also lots of other great organizations in the area that will have similar guides or have candidate forums. And so if you just do some Googling, it's pretty easy to find all the information you'll need to find about different candidates so that you can pick the one that's right for you.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll have you talk a little bit more about your voters guide in just 1 second. But I also wanted to say, talk a little about that, like making a plan, right? So I wanted to ask both you and Tiffany what your plans are, but I'll start off with mine to give you a little moment to think about yours. So for me, it depends, right? So if I am, thinking about voting by mail, that one's a little bit easier for me because, I can set off, an hour or two, or just even honestly like 30 minutes to look over the voter's guide. and to, make sure that I'm filling out my ballot. So I know that it's going to take me a little bit to read through the candidates, fill out my ballot, and then that driving time is what I also had to plan to go drop it off at the drop box if I don't want to mail it. What about you all? What's your voting plan?
So I always vote by mail. I have actually never voted in person. So I always vote by mail. And my husband and I have kind of a thing that we just kind of take time, like you said, Karina, and sit down and go to all the candidates' websites, and we look at, guides from organizations that we trust and share values with. And it's kind of fun. I really enjoy that. And it's very, very empowering to look at those and pick and then fill in that bubble. I don't know. I really enjoy that. And then we have a Dropbox really, really close by. Sometimes we even just walk over there and drop it in. And yeah, that's kind of what we like to do, but I'm a vote by mail girl for sure.
I am not eligible to vote yet, but my way of participating is just moral support, offering to drive people. I know friends who may not have a reliable car and stuff like that. I don't know. There's always somebody who wants to go vote but aren't able to drive there, but don't want to vote by mail. So I always just throw it out there that I'm driving today. However many people that I'm comfortable with sharing the car, and I'll make a thing about it. Like, oh, we'll go vote and then go get lunch afterwards or something like that. That seems to be encouraging for people to just hop in. I have also done voter support in the past where, just set up a table outside of a voting place and just provide snacks and coffee and whatever all day, so that people who are going to vote, if they're running between tasks or whatever, can, stop and get a snack. Just a little boost of morale.
Exactly. And that's, when I have been, when I've gone to vote in person at the polling place, that's something that I've tried to do too. That whole moral support is super important. Get a few of your friends together and go there together and make a thing out of it, make fun out of it too. So when we were talking about your voter's guide, can you tell us a little bit about what we'll find on your voter's guide?
Yeah, so it will just have the candidates and have things that platforms that they're running on. The voters guide also has some of those important deadlines that we shared that are on Vote 411. So it's kind of like a good one-stop shop for everything that you might need during the voting season. And we have wonderful, wonderful volunteers who put that together. So it's we're very grateful for them that they do that for us, because we know that it's, oh, sorry, Tiffany, we just know that it's a revered, the league's voter guide is a revered document. So
yeah. And since we're nonpartisan, the guide is also in nonpartisan wording so that people, can make their own judgment, whatever facts that we present.
That's a great point. Yeah, a nonpartisan guide where people can go find, the answers to issues that are important to them, and how those candidates feel about that. So that's super great, and I'm really looking forward to it. I've definitely used it too. So I wanted to ask. So I know, Tiffany, you've mentioned through your vote41.org website that people can request to have, league volunteers come register folks at events, community events. So with that, I know league members do that as deputy registrars. So can you tell us what is a deputy registrar and how can someone who's interested in being a deputy registrar become one?
Yeah, deputy registrars and actually just trained registrars who aren't certified yet are two kinds of volunteers that can be at this voter registration event table thing that we use. But the deputy registrars are people who are technically like an extension of the election commission, who have been trained to like they've been trained by the election commission officially and certified. They've taken the class held by them and agreed to the rules. Once you're certified, you can officially register people, and by that, it's that you sign their form at the bottom of the form. You're able to sign that form and act as an extension of the election commission office. You take this class. The next available class, as I understand, is in the spring. Is that still correct, Karina? The class that's held by Chris Carruthers.
I'm actually not sure, but it can be easy to look up.
Okay.
Yeah, easy to look up there.
Yeah, I think the last I heard was that they're hosting one in February, but I'm not so sure because it's been moving a lot since last year.
Yeah, I know that for right now, no one's deputy registrar is expiring, so you will not be expiring. And
Yes.
that they're likely going to be start to having online trainings for deputy registrars, so that'll be really nice.
And it does, you do need to renew it, which is why Kat said that you need to, or right now you're not expiring, but generally you do need to renew your certification. The other kind of volunteer are those who are trained by like the league, who aren't certified yet, and those people can't sign the form. However, we need people of more than one party to be at any voter registration event. So it's important to have like all hands on deck sometimes, just because of how much volunteer turnout we have. So yeah, although it takes a few steps to be a registrar, you don't necessarily need to go through all of those steps to volunteer with us.
Right, and to register voters. Yeah, I know a lot about this too. And I know that there are different rules for deputy registrars and just for messengers is what I call them, to register folks. But yeah, if you see someone at a community event, be sure that they know the rules and that they are certified in some way to help you register to vote. So keep a lookout for that. So talking about your volunteers, how can someone volunteer? How should someone sign up to volunteer with you guys with your voter services?
Yeah, so first join the league. That's a great opportunity to get involved in all of the volunteer opportunities that we have, and all of the kind of community talks we have. You can be really involved with those and just learn from other wonderful community members. But yeah, the way that we have volunteers sign up for our VR tables is we just have some sign up genius online forms sent out, and we have awesome volunteers who say yes and show up to our voter registration events. It's super easy. And if you ever have any questions about how to get involved with the league, you can always email us at gotv@lwvgo.org. That's a great way to just get in contact with someone, and we can kind of put you where your interests are.
Right, put you in touch. And it would be a great way to learn from people who know how to do this work so that you can, take it out into your community and help your community turn out to vote. So with that, what are you looking forward to in the voter services programming? I know you're both new, so I want to see what you're excited about.
Yeah, Tiffany and I are both quite new to the league's board. We're so excited to be here, and we're kind of excited to expand what voter registration events, where they are in Omaha, I guess. We're looking to kind of get into new communities and get folks who need to be registered to vote. We also have got some exciting new grants recently from LWV US, specifically some to register youth voters. So we're looking forward to getting into more high schools Tiffany actually had heard about a great idea the other day of creating VR packets and giving those to a school, and then the school is in charge of handing those packets out to students who turn 18, which is kind of a cool cool little birthday gift while you're in school, I think. And then we also got a grant for new citizens voter registration. So we're looking forward to getting back into naturalization ceremonies when those start happening in person again, or when we're able to go there again. We've kind of been on hold because of COVID with that, but we're looking forward to finding some innovative ways to getting some new citizens registered to vote as well. Tiffany, what about you?
Yeah, I'm most excited about our call yesterday, Kat. We just talked to somebody who's in, I'm not sure we're able to say anything official yet, but basically we're talking about hitting those communities that there's clearly a gap of people who aren't registered to vote. And it happens to be in low income settings. And I'm very passionate about just equity in general. So yeah, looking forward to being in those spaces and just being present and start building rapport with those people, creating relationships and getting some people to vote maybe. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's super great. I'm a member of the league, so I'm really excited to see what you both do. I'm gonna wrap it up here by giving everyone a little recap on voter eligibility, actually. So if you want to register to vote, make sure to get out there and do it. All you have to be is 18 years old. If you're 17 but will be 18 by election day, you can register to vote and vote. And all you have to be is a US citizen and a resident of Nebraska, and you can vote here. So with that, let's see, a little reminder that, the general election day is November 8th this year. So that's great. Make sure to look out for that, and make sure to be looking out for the primary date too. Thank you so much for being here with us today, Kat and Tiffany. For the League of Women Voters of Greater Omaha, I'm Karina Hernandez, reminding you to inform yourself about issues and candidates, and at election time, be ready to go vote Omaha. Thank you.